This video covers best practices for managing plan fees, including hiring providers, assessing fiduciary roles, monitoring service quality, ensuring transparent fee disclosures, and regularly benchmarking cost. It emphasizes the importance of procedural prudence and negotiating the cost-effective options to protect both the plan and its participants. Fees are also required to be disclosed on Form 5500 under either Schedule A or Schedule C. So let's talk about best practices to determine fee reasonableness. First of all, when hiring a service provider, determine the specific services to be made available. You may be paying for services you don't want, or you may not be getting services that you do want. So this is an important evaluation, certainly part of the provider analysis in explicit detail. The level of responsibility to the provider is to assume, are they a fiduciary? If so, what fiduciary level? 321, 338? Whatever their fiduciary responsibility they're taking on or not taking on, determine what services are covered under the fees that have been projected and what services you may want that are not covered. Then evaluate any services to be included that might be optional. So if these features that you want, make sure that they're either included or you understand the cost for them as optional features. Monitor the level and quality of services and performance of the providers and the investments to ensure that the costs are reasonable and continue to meet participants' needs. There's selection and there's monitoring responsibilities, and both the same, basically, the same level of responsibility and the same steps. It all harkens back to procedural prudence under ERISA. As far as the action steps, establish and follow a prudent process, a prudent expert process for understanding, monitoring, and documenting fees. I always tell clients that say, we don't want to pay for the provider analysis, we'll do this on our own. Well, that's fine, but they need to understand that the fee reasonableness determination is part of ERISA's prudent expert process. So they don't feel that they're an expert in analyzing vendor fees and determining where the fees may be hidden in the shell game, which virtually all of the vendors play. Then maybe they should pay for an expert analysis of the fee competitiveness of their own fees and any vendors being considered as well. Second, accept only full and transparent fee disclosures from all service providers. That must be the case. And you have to see what the transparency is going to look like ahead of time so you know if you can digest it and make sense out of it and use it. That's at the plan level, but certainly also at the advisor level. Conduct regular benchmarking fees, services, and investments. Well, the best practice is to do every 3 years. Maybe the smallest end of the market can get away with 4 years, but it must be done regularly. Must be done in a live bid scenario, and it has to be responded to. There's been litigation where the fee analysis has been done and it's been neglected to follow up on the part of the plan fiduciaries. And that has been particularly punitive in terms of monetary awards to the participants against the fiduciaries. So be very careful about that. Be aware of opportunities to renegotiate and investigate potentially lower plan or investment costs. There's been litigation where plan sponsors have gone to the vendor and said, we can get a lower share class, or can we get a lower share class? And the vendor has said, no, you're not eligible yet. You need 50 million of assets or 2 million of assets and whatnot for that particular investment or in total, whatever the case may be. But the plan sponsor did not say, can we have an exception to that rule? Because we're really watching plan cost, and litigation required a penalty against a substantially multi-million-dollar penalty against the fiduciary, not because they didn't ask for the lowest cost, because they didn't ask for an exception to the rules to get the lower cost investment share classes. So understand how important this is in an investigation.